Coach Corey Jackson's a guy that's been around a while. He's had some bad luck with some knee injuries. Just what do you like about him? What have you seen him as he's shown to this point?
Yeah, he's been injured since I've been here. I obviously played with his brother here at Arkansas. So I like the family, and I can speak on that. I know the kid has some receiving skills that I've been able to see, on tape from the past, but until you get on the field, I can't really comment on, each year is different, and every year you're getting better and you're growing, and we just hadn't had a chance to get him on the field and see, so it's hard for me to comment on that.
Dowell, you're coaching tight ends. How is that going? And then tell me about your top guys, Blake and Hud, and how they're doing so far in camp.
Yes, sir, Clay. Yeah, I've enjoyed it. I think being a coordinator on 4 different teams in the NFL, you coach everyone. And when you install in the NFL, you're sitting there with the whole offense and you're installing the plays as the offensive coordinator. So, up until this point, I've only coached quarterbacks and called plays in the NFL. But, you have, as a coordinator, you have to coach everyone. And so this transition has been pretty easy for me. It's really just learning the language, and the timing of when I came was tough because I was here for 3 weeks. We got deep into recruiting, and then you're in the camp season, and you have a 3-week vacation. But it obviously helps tremendously when you have veterans in your room that know the offense, and you're not teaching. You're not coaching freshmen. You have guys that you can clean up technique and teach them stuff to where to put their eyes and how to read coverage triangles and do the things that I've been able to teach in the NFL and put some of that in our tight end room in the passing game that that will help the passing game and the run game.
And your two leaders, kind of give me a little about each one of them.
Yeah, Blake is he's a quiet kid, and he's a hard worker. He's a guy that knows the offense inside and out. He's very detail oriented, and he's got deceptive speed. And when you watch and you see him when you watch the ring, you're like, man, it's a big guy. I wonder how well he runs, but he's got straight line speed that it showed a little bit last year in some games here and there. And then Hud is a guy that I've known for a long time, know the family well. Arkansas royalty is you group the Henrys and Lindsays and all those people together, and is Arkansas royalty, and just a smart, savvy football player. Obviously, he's got great DNA with his mom and dad and his 2 brothers, and just has a really good feel in the passing game. We're going to continue to work on his blocking and improving in that area, but he's a hard worker. He loves the Razorbacks, and he's going to do everything he can to help this team. And both of them, to both their guys' credit, is they're extremely unselfish. And that whole tight end room it's not about who's in, who's rotating. They don't care about that. They care about helping each other and getting this program back to where it needs to be.
Hey, Coach, we saw Nathan Bax a little bit on special teams last year, not much on offense. What kind of player is he? What does he bring to the table?
Bax is, thank you for asking about him, because we should talk about him more often as well. He's got a very professional mindset about him. He knows what to do. He knows he's in the right spots. You can count on him. And that's why I talk about professional, because he just knows what to do and he does it. And most time when you grade out, he's very consistent. I mean, he's the same player every day. And I think that's really, really important. And you guys understand this, but a lot of people don't. Like, the tight ends are expected to run routes like receivers. They're supposed to pass protect like left tackles. And, so that there's a lot that goes into that position. And if you don't have consistency, it's hard to deal with, it's hard to improve. And I think he's a guy that's gotten better. I'd probably say it's not fair to judge, but I'd say he's the most improved player in that room to this point in camp. And he's done a tremendous job working, studying. Another guy who's extremely unselfish, doesn't care if he's running with the 2s, the 3s, the 1s, just looking for an opportunity to get better and positively affect this football team.
Well, that was actually my question, Andrew Stowe, but no, can you go a little bit more into Dominic Johnson? Maybe, I know you talked about him a little bit earlier, but just what is he picking up on fast? And maybe where does he need to really kind of maybe speed up the learning if possible? Yeah,
it's not really, it's a good question. It's not really speeding up the learning. It's kind of the alignments, because you go from running back. He's a smart, competitive kid. And you go from playing running back, now you're playing tight end. So he knows the offense. He knows the signals, which is a big part of college football, and is being able to think on your feet, read the signal, get lined up. But now you're going from an offense that is there's a lot of stress and pressure on the tight ends, probably more so than any other position outside of quarterback, because there's a lot of aligned by assignments. So you have to know your alignment's cold. And a lot of times the formation calls are talking to the wideouts. So those guys are interesting ringtone. But so there's a lot mentally, there's a lot of mental gymnastics to be able to get lined up, and it's just those details. And that's what I talked to him about today. I went around the room and told each guy what they need to improve on, and Dom's was definitely just the details of the assignments, because he knows what to do. And there's always 3 phases of performing, and that's, you got to know what to do, you got to know how to do, and you got to go do it under pressure. And right now he knows what to do, and he's in the process of learning how to do it.
Kind of a two-part. Did Johnson, did he come to you guys and say, hey, is there another position I could play where I have a chance to go on the field quicker? Or did you go to Sam and say, hey, I need another guy? Or how did that move? Where was the evolution of that?
Bob, I don't want to talk about everything that happens behind the scenes, but it was definitely a move that everyone felt good about. And he's a guy that we've moved around, in camp, and he's played some different spots, some H-back type play, an H-back type role. He's played some running back for us. And, we were starting to get banged up a little bit. Levi went down, and that was very unfortunate, because he's such a wonderful, great kid and represented this program very well. And so we're looking to build numbers, and we're looking for a guy that also could, add some depth and also help. And we weren't going to make a move if we thought, hey, like, he doesn't have the ability to be successful, because he's good in the role he's in. And it was a chance to make the football team better. And from Coach Pittman to Dom to myself, all felt good about him making this transition.
And then the scrimmage tomorrow, I guess, will be your first college scrimmage since your playing days. What are you looking for out of your guys? Just, what are you looking for out of the scrimmage in general?
Yes, sir. I'm excited about it. And it's, it's a great opportunity, and it's exciting just for me to be back and be able to do all this stuff. And I'm extremely fortunate and blessed that I have this opportunity, but I'm excited for our guys. Because, like I told you guys, this is about knowing what to do, know how to do it. You got to go do it under pressure. And tomorrow will be the first time they have to go do it under pressure, when there's no scripts, and you got to go run plays. And the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator are calling plays, and there's no studying before you go out and get your 4 plays. Like, you got to go know it. And now the urgency increases and the intensity increases. So it's going to be a great evaluation tool for us as a staff. And I'm really excited to see how our guys perform. I hope they, go out and do their jobs and execute and enjoy doing it.
What's Colin Sutherland's, prospects like in the near future? What do you think?
Well, I don't want to make predictions, but he's a guy that's working in. He's coming off injury, and he's done a nice job at this point in camp. And, he's going to have some opportunities as well, and he needs to maximize them if he wants to have a bigger role on the team. And he's working as hard as he can and doing the things in the classroom that he needs to do to do that. But it's too early in camp to define his role, but he's going to have an opportunity to make the most of it.
I think this was in Hoover where Sam said, we'd like to run 12 personnel, a good bit. Who would your 3 be? I mean, who's in competition?
Well, everyone's in competition. We have 3 guys right now that have played and have experience, and there's some other guys that are looking to earn opportunities. And, so I'm not going to get into the depth chart right now. That's for Coach Pittman to decide those things, but there's no open jobs. These guys are working hard there's some guys with more experience than others, and there's obviously an edge that way. There always is. But, to just define roles at this point, it's way too early. And, probably be able to answer those things a little bit, better after our first scrimmage, and when we see these guys in live action and unscripted situations.
I remember back when you were in college, but you've been.
Doesn't seem like that long ago, does it?
It doesn't.
Bob hadn't aged today. Clay has.
You look the same.
Yeah.
But you're 17 years in the NFL. You sent last year at Happy Valley. When's the last time you've been to a game in Razorback Stadium? And when's the last time you've been to Fayetteville? Do you still have people in this area? Or?
Yes, sir. Okay, so last Razorback game was definitely be an A&M, Arkansas, 2014. Came back for that. I was at the 2008 one of those Auburn games when Bobby was still the coach. I think the last time I had a chance to come back to Razorback Stadium was when I was with the Cowboys. I think it was 05, and we were off, so I was able to drive up. And I think that was 2005. I think we played South Carolina. I think it was a home game. And it still have plenty of people in Fayetteville. And it's the transition for me has been unbelievable. I've probably gained 15 pounds from going to lunch and dinner. And I think I had a 3-week span where I was going to lunch with someone, with dinner with someone. And, so the camp's been nice that way, and need to stop eating out so much. But just the special memories I have here, it's because of the people. And it's guys in this room that I've known for 20 years, like Bob and Otis and Clay and Kyle, and I went to school together. And, obviously all you guys know you guys by name, and just this state's special for that reason, because they always take care of their own. And, you get to come back, and the first night, Edens and I go out to Herman's, and we see Coach Hatfield, who's a childhood hero of mine. And I'm in there taking pictures with Coach Hatfield like a fanboy. And I did it before Edens got there, obviously, because he would have busted my chops for that for a long time. But it's that place. Very seldom do you walk in somewhere in Fayetteville and you don't know someone, or an old teammate or a friend, or whoever that is your experience here. And I've come back for years, and I feel like, I think Clay made this comment to me, there's almost a feel that I never left because I come back so much. And it was obviously a dream of mine to get back here at some point. And I'm so very, very fortunate to be back now.
Now, just seeing these guys come in there, they kind of have, I guess, the same growing up that you did, that they wanted to be here. Do y'all ever talk about that?
Absolutely. Like, we all share the same passion. And, even with HUD, like, you could talk about, Dad played here. Mom was a cheerleader. I played here. My wife was a cheerleader here. My brother-in-law played second base for the Hogs on the baseball team for 3 years. And we all have that common, passion for the Razorbacks and for the state. So our conversations are deep and passionate about that. We all have the same goal. And when you played here and you came here, like, it does mean more. It does, in my mind, this is the best job I've ever had, because this is the job I've always wanted. And I hope those guys feel that. I hope they feel how passionate I am about the Razorbacks, because I feel theirs. And I know how much it means to Blake Kern, what this school, what this university, what this football program means to him. And these kids deserve to win. They work their tails off. And just like this state deserves to win. And, I couldn't be prouder to be part of this, this position, part of this football program. And I'm really excited about what this season has, but more excited about the scrimmage tomorrow, because that's the next step in the process.
Coach, I know you, being a former quarterback, is wondering what your assessment is of KJ so far in camp. What have you seen from him?
Yeah, when I was thinking about taking this job, I clicked on the Missouri game because I wanted to see what we had at quarterback, and he obviously played well in that game. And you can see his confidence growing daily. Obviously, there's other people that get in the program that can talk about that better than I can at this point, because that's not my job. But he is. I've seen his confidence start to grow. This offense has had success, and I'm playing together more, and that's a big part of the process. The hard part about quarterback sometimes is getting the other 11 guys to do their jobs, or the other 10 guys, to do their jobs, so you can execute and do yours. So we're excited about where he's at, and he's gotten better every day. And I think that he's naturally transitioned into bigger leadership roles as it happens.
No, I don't remember you ever having a bad hold. Maybe you did, but
I did not. No.
Yeah, because
I like talking about myself, but I will talk about that. And I keep telling Coach Fountain, like, let me coach the holders.
Well, seriously, I was wondering if you've been working with him at all.
Yes, well, that's what took Colin so long getting over, because we were sitting there working with a couple of the holders before we came over here. I do have that expertise. I'm not very good at anything on the football field outside of holding.
The first time I said you were the smartest man in quarterback.
That was in the quarterback room. That's not when we went to the field. That's where it stopped. As soon as I caught the ball, the ball was snapped. That's where my talent ended. Appreciate you guys.